Oh, you thought I forgot about Rise, didn't ya? We are back! I've been busy talking about WoWs lately, so I didn't have time to finish up my love and hate series. We started off in my video on my dislike for the discourse on World vs Rise. Not like I don't like people discussing it, that's totally fine to me, but the fact that people attack others for their opinions on what they prefer. And also how talking only about the good things on something or the bad is lame. We gotta have a fair discussion. So coming on to me, we've already done a video on one thing I love and hate about World, and then went on to one thing I love about Rise, and now finishing with what I hate about it. Rise might be my third favorite game in the series, but god damn, there's still one thing I just can't stand. Any guesses? Come on, any takers? It's this fucker right here. In fact, all of them. The Apexes were a mistake. Now, I'll give them their dues. Some of the fights are actually really good. For example, Apex Zenoga is a great fight. And back in base Rise, it was the strongest monster in the game that actually gave you a real threat. I would even say he's better than the original Thunderlord back in GU. And even though I have a soft spot for Dread King Rathalos, Apex is much better to be honest. But apart from them, they're either slightly worse or just damn terrible. The events were my favourite thing back in GU. 18 of the most unique fights you could find in Monster Hunter. They were difficult, they were colourful, and most of all, they actually had weapons and armour. Damn it Capcom, each monster had such beautiful colours and names. From orange with Jawtusk Texacabra, to white, red and blue with Soulseer Mizu. But instead, all we got was red, and with the prefix Apex? Like that's so freaking lame man. It was as if each deviant had a title. They were royalty of the highest order. And now, there's some bottom ass bottom feeders that got left behind in Sunbreak due to how bad and unwanted the system was. They only came back and inflicted quests, but damn, Capcom knew how they fucked up with them. But we need to calm down a bit. I got way too excited. Jumped the gun a bit there. What are the main things that make Apexes so bad? Well, it boils down to 3.5 things. We'll tackle them in this order. The lack of gear, weird ass designs, the fights being a downgrade, and the 0.5 is something you have to stick around to the end for. Rest assured, you won't be disappointed. If you really want to see me rage, there's nothing that will do it more than that. We'll start with gear. So, what is the point of Monster Hunter? Well, apart from apparently being a dating sim, it's to hunt X monster for X material to make X weapon. The series is based on the simple but effective gameplay loop. You could even take it further. X monster, X material to make X weapon. Now with that weapon, you can hunt Y monster for Y material that you needed for possibly Y's armor. A chain of events that echoed throughout every hunter's brain at one point or another. Hardwired into our soul as a reason to keep on grinding till the last beast has been slain. Yeah, when it comes to Rise's Apexes, they fundamentally break this cycle. Yeah sure, they gave materials of the base monster, but why would you want to fight anything but the base monster then? The system around them, built for them, treated them as if the hunter should not want to hunt them, because you pretty much get nothing unique out of them. The rampage weapons, the only weapons linked to these monsters, didn't even get some band-aid fix to get these weapons to G rank. I don't mind hunting monsters for fun, but I want to feel like I'm actually aiming towards something, and those monsters were sorely lacking in that department. And there's a reason why they didn't make any dedicated quests for them to be hunted in Sunbreak, because they know that no one wants to hunt them. They know they fucked up. Even Capcom themselves realized how useless they are and how little value they add to the game without them having to add extra time for new features to make them worth something. And someone out there is going to be like, well Nova, of course they didn't have any quests. The rampage is over, so they can't be a quest to hunt them. Really nigga? The rampage? If that's the case, why are they available via anomaly quests? Hell, why they ain't quests outside the rampage in the first place? I am pretty damn sure, although I can't prove it wasn't always planned that way, but I'll bet my right nut that they added them into hunts due to players' feedback back in base Rise. People wanted a way to hunt them outside of the rampage, and even though I did enjoy the rampage to some extent, I also wished for it too. It felt like a waste to keep those monsters linked to that feature. Even though I despise their existence, I appreciate they at least brought them into quests for everyone's sake. But wait, we talked about weapons, but what about the armor? The freaking armor! At least we had crappy looking rampage weapons, right? But armor, we had nothing. They gave us nothing. Nada, zilch, no. All those beautiful armors and unique skills linked to what the deviants do best evaporated. Vanished out of existence. Ugh, what a crime. Well actually, maybe that's for the best. If Capcom tried, they would probably have done a half-assed job and ended up with something like this. Yeah, maybe we should be counting our blessings here. Damn, Between World's slap-on weapons and Rise's potential slap-on tilt color thingy, I don't know which one I'd hate more. But really, bringing Apexes to Rise were a mistake. What a waste of resources. Or were they? Were they really that difficult to bring to Rise? Or did Capcom choose those monsters because it was infinitely easier for them to do so than to come up with brand new monsters? How different are the Deviants and Apexes anyway? Well, I'd say it's pretty damn close, I'll tell you that. It's like Capcom copied their own homework and still got it wrong. Like, for fuck's sake, how is that even possible? They didn't even try to hide it. Similar moves, similar features, similar monsters. Let's take Apex Mizu for example. Soulseer is a wounded Mizu who was left blinded and now can only see by bubble telekinesis? What? And after eating bomb arowana, his bubbles can now have a fire property to them when he's enraged. And then Apex Mizu, over here, his bubbles are hell blighted? Yeah, sure, okay. You got the bubble body slam, bubble body twist. It was easier for them to accomplish their goals here, so they took a shortcut, missing out the flair and style of each Deviant. The unique feeling each one had by their weapons, armor, aesthetic, and even their goddamn name was gone. Why would they bring back these watered down monsters instead of coming up with new ones? Like, Capcom, what's your deal? If you're gonna bring back the GOATs, give them the respect they deserve. And they didn't even bring all of them. You have 7 Apexes in Rise, and there are still 3 who had Deviants but not Apex. And if they're fully dedicated to the system, the game should have had 1 for each of them. Naga Cougar, Tigrex, and Myla Gombi. If you're gonna cheat off yourself, at least finish the paper. Silverwind, Grimclaw, and Snow Baron are nowhere to be seen. Hell, in Sunbreak, they even added more of them. Stonefish without the stone, Rust Razor yet never rusting, and the GOAT himself, Boat Weaver. Yeah, I don't see a boat in sight. God damn. I mean, maybe I should be grateful they didn't ruin even more hunts, but it just goes to show how weird the system is. What was the point of bringing them back, but not really bringing them back? It really does just feel like an insult. Like I've been saying, the main issue comes down to 3 things: lack of gear, weird ass designs, and a fight word downgrade from GU. If it was only the first 2, personally, I wouldn't have had much of an issue with it. But the last? Like, come on. Why did it have to have the Deviant moveset? It could have been anything. I'm sure people would have accepted it, but instead, you took the greatest and made it ugly. Yo guys, I mean, this is off the script. I just realized this while recording this. This kind of reminds me of all those OnlyFans models who get implants and getting, you know, their faces done, their lips done, lip injections, BBLs, all this stuff. It's like they're looking fine before, and then they're looking like trolls out here. They're looking like bag shit, ugly, like goddamn. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Capcom took peak and turned them ugly. And you see all these OnlyFans models and all these people who are looking pretty decent. They just turn themselves into, I don't know, modified horror stories. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, god damn. Wow, that's something crazy. But you know what? Let's get back on track. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It was easier for Capcom to dig in a monster roster for something to fit their hubris. But even then, they didn't want to put the effort to make it work. Now, let's compare some of the particular issues I have with the Apexes, starting off with Arzuros. The whole thing about Red Helm is his red helm. He has a red mohawk and it's freaking cool. I love the design. But more importantly, his claws. If you don't have the tools and the sharpness to deal with it, you'll bounce right off them. This makes him particularly dangerous, as he can quickly strike back with powerful one-shot moves that will end you if you're caught off guard. But all of that is missing from Apex Arzuros. He's a freaking tinted Arzuros, for goodness sake. I mean, I'll give it to him. They gave him that pretty cool long-ass combo where you just keep swinging and digging the ground, and yeah, that's pretty cool. But apart from that, like, bro, what are you doing, Capcom? Next, Mizu. Soulseer's lore is pretty damn cool. A monster who has been blinded by a hunter now sees you by other senses. And when he's enraged, his eye glows blue with a threatening look. And also look at his colors. It's so colorful, it's beautiful. And then the Apex has none of that. It's just a red purplish Mizu. What a shame. And he has that one really weird move that only really works in the Rampage, where he shoots water and kind of turns around and keeps shooting water and bubbles, and it leaves him so vulnerable. It was a move built for the Rampage to hit all of the traps and turrets and all that stuff, but outside the natural hunt, it doesn't do anything to you, honestly. It's just garbage. Next, Apex Rathian. He probably looks the ugliest with all that purple they spreaded across her body, like ew. Yo, put away the makeup, man. The spikes and the visual difference in her poison effects is what made you feel the dread back in the normal Dread Queen. And her signature drive-by tail attack got nerfed to hell. It's so slow, like come on. Back in the day, that shit would end people like crazy. Apex Rathalos, this washed up motherfucker. I mean, just look at his colors, they just seem so dull. No matter how much you might have hated the Dread King fight, at least you can appreciate the red goodness he exuberates. The flaming king with his dread-bringing wings. They did fix up the fight, to be honest, given the base Rathalos is much more enjoyable in Rise than ever before. He doesn't stay in the air as much as he used to, and it makes the flow of the combat much more enjoyable. But one interesting mechanic I did appreciate from both of the dreads was you couldn't flash them until you broke in their wings, which I found pretty cool. Flashing has been abused since the dawn of Monster Hunter, giving us hunters superiority over the aerial demons. In the 5th gen, flashing flying monsters don't even give you a knockdown state for how badly they were abused. Luckily for us all, that was reverted going into Wilds. But I honestly think the dread mechanic is the best one. At least you had to work towards the flash. It wasn't free on demand. I think we need something like that to come back in the series. Blind monsters should be able to fly, with some limitations of course. Next, Apex Zynoga. Another good one. It's not that I think Thunderlord's fight is bad or anything, but Apex Zynoga is just better. The new lightning strikes, and one of the coolest finishes that I have ever seen. But back in GU, his colors showed us why he got the name Thunderlord. Apex Zynoga doesn't look bad, but he ain't no Thunderlord. Now you're thinking, wait, hang on, isn't there another Apex Nova hasn't brought up at all yet? And yeah, it's this motherfucker right here, the one who inspired today's topic, the certified worst Apex of them all, Apex Diablos. I mean, how did we go from this to this? Going from peak to whatever dung-infested monster this is. One of the best flagships with his own phase shift to a monster who can barely aim his own hitboxes correctly. They kind of fixed it in Sunbreak, but still, this guy can't even aim. Call him the Stormtrooper. Overall, his moveset is similar, but that isn't the main issue. It's the things around him. And one of the most important things about Bloodbath was his music and his transition into his second phase. His music starting off as a remix to the desert, slow and focused to present Bloodbath's current state. Not overall too aggressive and straightforward, not too different from the normal Diablos. What made it even cooler is that he's the only different with his own theme. Then as you start to get him low and he starts to feel threatened at the brink of death, the true fight begins. The music shifts to a remix of the Dunes, fast-paced, aggressive, threatening. The beast, known as Bloodbath, is unleashed. The aggression, speed, the rage. You can feel it radiating from him. It's so powerful. I'm feeling it right now just talking about him. I'm always feeling that constant threat while fighting this beast. But in Rise, he has none of that. He's just another monster without a theme, and it's so saddening to see. All of the big defining traits of the Bloodbath fight are gone. It's really a shadow of his former self. And then there's also the horn. The horn isn't the same. One of the main things was that Bloodbath is a monster that has fought many hunters, and one of his horns have been destroyed, but it hasn't been killed. So he goes away and his horn starts to build back up. It starts to grow back up. It becomes twisted, it becomes warped. And through the pain of a warped horn, the Diablos becomes rage, he becomes angry. Thus, he becomes stronger and he kills many hunters. And that's the name Bloodbath. He kills hunters, you know, he's bathing in blood, he's bathing in blood. This guy's pretty much the demon. He's the true demon of Monster Hunter. Bloodbath Diablos, okay? The lore about him doesn't work in Apex because his horns aren't that way. His horns are perfectly fine, they're not warped like in GU. And in GU even, he had this thing. I'm talking off script by the way, all this extra stuff is off script. And that's how pissed I am. One of the other things you could do is you could actually break his horn twice and actually get the horn to come off. So you have an extra piece of the horn to drop on the ground, which was great. It was really cool. And you could actually carve his horn, the special warped horn, which was great. Oh man, Diablos, I'm sorry that they did this to you, man, because I love you, Bloodbath. I actually love you. One of the best monsters, the forgotten flagship. People forget he's a flagship. He's a flagship, by the way. He's a flagship, and he's great. Peak, perfect, love him. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, the .5. Yeah, we can't forget about that. Capcom. There's one monster you've been neglecting, even back in GU. A monster that deserved the defense status, left out in the desert alone to wonder and ponder his existence. The motherfucking roly-poly king, Valverdon. Yeah, I know a lot of people hate Valverdon, but I fucking Valverdon, man. He's great. I love him. Alright, I've loved him since day. And like Capcom, come on, where's the Valverdon and Apex, man? Or the Deviant? I mean, all the other bad boys got one, but the best power guy got nothing. He was the only one left out. You got Snow Baron and Red Helm, and they're cool and all, but another strong stage monster would have been king. Got me wondering, what would they actually have called him? Pinball Velvedon? Power Ball? Death Ball? Bulldozer? I don't know. Something cool like that would have worked. Bulldozer Velvedon. I've always wondered what would a Velvedon Deviant even look like. Alas, it's a timeline out of my reach. Well, guys, that's all I got for you today. I know it's been a while, so I'm glad I finally got this video out. But yeah, let me know what kind of name you would have came up with for Valvedon. Like, I'm interested what deviant name you would have given him. I'm not really sure why they left him out. I mean, they done all the other bears, so it kind of made sense if he would have got included, but I guess not, which is fine. Actually, it's not really fine. It breaks my heart. I'm just gonna say it's fine, just, you know, to hide the pain, but no, it really hurts. I wish we had a Valvedon deviant. Honestly, I really wish we did. But yeah, guys, this is the 5th part of this situation. Now, I was planning 6 parts, and I might do a 6th part, which is just a wrap up of all of this. I'm not too sure how I'm gonna wrap it up, to be honest. It might just be a free-form discussion about what we've talked about and about the series going forward, and I hope to see you guys for that. But yeah, that's all I got for you today, so I'll catch you next time. See ya.